Before we get into some quotes, I want to ask you this because Perry asked me this, and I think I answered appropriately. In fact, I know he did. But he said, well, should you have a right to own a nuclear weapon, Doctor?
Mm-hmm. And then let's go. I think the quotes are going to help us in that.
All right.
If Jefferson said that the only role to be armed is to protect you from a tyrannical government, what do you think he would say?
Well,
Okay.
I would say yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to read another quote. This is a guy from name is Tench Cox. He was another constitutional Federalist who wanted the Constitution, who again was laughing about this. There's a thing called the Descent of the Minority, that Pennsylvania thing I talked to you about by Mr. Whitehall. And he laughed at the idea that the militia is going to be weaker than the army, okay? So I want to read these things real quick.
No, but first, why did he laugh?
Okay, because it was a given.
Yeah,
it was a
no-brainer.
It was a no-brainer. So here's what it is. Oh my gosh, where's that one I want to read about that? Oh, again, this is great. As the right to bear arms, right of the country, prevent the sword. I just quoted it. Let me read that one.
Oh, that's all right. I do that all the time when I do the show.
Well, I want to read that one because that one is pretty strong. But let me read this one right here. This is what we're dealing with today. Our main agenda is to have all guns banned. We must use whatever means possible. It doesn't matter if you have to distort the facts or even lie. Our task of creating a socialist America can only succeed when those who would resist us have been totally disarmed.
Well, that has to be what, Stalin?
Sarah Brady.
What?
Sarah Brady.
You mean the Brady folks,
yes.
The gun control folks?
Yes. Because, again, they understand the same thing.
Thank goodness there's the NRA. They're there to watch our back, right?
Well, the NRA,
I'm setting you up here, Doctor.
Yeah, the NRA is the one who got us registered. Maybe the Gun Owners of America might be more.
Well, what? Sorry? Would you say that again? The NRA actually responsible for getting...
In 1968, they were actually backing the omnibus bill themselves.
Oh, so we had to register our guns.
Yeah.
Who else said something about registering guns?
Yeah, I know.
That was, I think it was Hitler or something like that. It's just a very weird combination.
Yeah, let me read this next one.
All right, go ahead.
This is Trench Cox. Who are the militia? Are they not ourselves? It is feared, then, that we shall turn our arms each man against his own bosom. Congress has no power to disarm the militia. Their swords and every other terrible implement of the soldier are the birthright of an American. The ultimate power of the sword is not in the hands of either the federal or state governments, but where I trust in God, it will remain in the hands of the people.
Now, for those of you listening, I think you have to, some of this you might hear and go, oh my goodness, these people are just crazy. But stop for a moment, would you? And think about this for a moment. Think about the discussion you've had even this past week, the rhetoric you've heard from politicians and others and progressives in this country. And you know in your heart that what they're wanting to do makes no sense. There'll be no benefit from it, right? I mean, there's no upside here for making the school safer at all. It really is about disarmament.
Because, Bill, again, I'm seeing how this thing would actually adapt to be that our militias being owned by North Carolina would have the best implements possible. They'd have the best armies possible because the federal government, having no standing army, would want our militia to be well prepared. We'd be the best prepared army possible. Remember, the Constitution gives the federal government the power to have a navy. Okay,
but no standing army.
And here's why. Noah Webster. Before a standing army can rule, the people must be disarmed, as they are in almost every kingdom of Europe. The supreme power in America cannot enforce unjust laws by the sword because the whole body of people are armed and constitute a force superior to any band of regular troops they can be, or on any pretense raise the United States of America.
Well, I just, and again, I'm not a historian. You're much better at it than I am, but it would seem to me that we've been at war with some folks on a world scale, and they weren't going to invade our country, not because our military was strong, although it was. It's because there were an awful lot of people with guns in this country. I don't know how you take over a country, whether it's a foreign power or our own government.
Well, that's why our founders look back at history. They look back at every